Steve-O, the man, the myth, the legend. I guess, as much as it pains me to ask this, I've got to start with the most obvious. That knock down at the AJS Bowl, what's going through your mind when you come to the crease and you've still got a handful of runs to get with not very many wickets left?
Well, when I first walked in, we had Finchy, who was on, I think he was just short of 50. He might have just got 50 when I walked in. So actually, it was my job was to do was get him back on strike and sort of get myself in. You know, whatever game it is, whenever I go out to the middle, I'll assess what situation we're at, but the first thing I have to do is try and get myself in. Don't get me wrong, I was a little bit concerned when I was 0 off 16 balls, but we were losing wickets around it. But no, my job was pretty simple, as in I need to get myself in, because if I don't get in, then I can't do my job.
Yeah.
And even when Finchy got dismissed, how did you stay calm in that situation? You know, knowing that the game's on the line now and you've got to try and get over the line.
It got to, like, when Grant came in, I still felt confident. At the back of my mind, obviously, I knew we weren't going to have Blakey. But G's a seriously good player, and he's played some great knocks for us this year and over the last few years. So I still had belief in him. But then when he got out, you know, Potter came back, but then I actually got to a stage, like my missus asked me that night, and it got to a stage where you've got to be a little bit, yes, you want to be on it and you want to, you know, you big things to win the game, but actually it became a bit carefree.
Yeah.
Because it was either way, wasn't it? You know, if I beat myself up about not getting runs off a certain bowler or whatever it may be, or not hitting a boundary, or then it's I put the pressure back on myself. Where actually it got to a stage where I was just like, you know, whatever will be. You know, I'll play my shots. Obviously it took me a while to get in, but when I figured out the pitch and the shots I could and couldn't play, I just went with it.
Fabulous. You've talked about one knot there, but you seem to be in some stunning form with the bat. Have you considered, maybe getting up the order, opening the batting?
That'd be amazing. I've been trying that for years in 2020.
I'd imagine Ollie's got something to say about that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't beat. Yeah. Well, there's a few, like Compo's averaging probably close to 60 with the bat at the minute. I think we've found a bit of a gem in Joey Everson that's opened the batting. He's done really well. He's been pretty consistent, and then obviously Ollie Robinson, to me, I feel he's our best player at the club at the minute, in all forms. I think he's a little jet, and I hope he goes out and gets another stunning knock for us on Saturday.
So yeah, looking ahead to the final, obviously.
Your team, eh?
Yeah, I know, my team. So if you could get out for a duck, that would be great. But
just to reiterate, it doesn't clarify both our points. If you can make like 160.
Yeah, I like that.
But obviously, your time's coming to the end here at Kent. How important is it going into this final to have that final hurrah and that chance at silverware?
I suppose for for the future and looking back at this in time to come, but I don't care how we win the game, mate. If I don't get a wicket and don't get a run, as long as we win the game, that's all that I'm bothered about. But yes, don't get me wrong, it'd be amazing to go out and get 5 for spit and 120 not out with the bat. Do you know what I mean? But what'll be will be, and I'll do my best with the ball, do my best with the bat. So we'll see what happens.
And obviously the team as a whole this season, it got off to a shaky start in this campaign, and then you seem to have gathered momentum.
Yeah.
How do you think that momentum's going to help you going into a major final, and does it make a difference to the team, I suppose? Like, what's the nerves like going into a final, or are you just treating it like a match?
Actually, over the last probably 6 or 7 games, we've had this thing in the change rooms where I don't know what game it was, but one of the teams were really shaky and nervous, and actually when we spoke at the end we were very calm. So actually that word came out quite a lot over the last few games. It was like, we're a calm team, calm in the change rooms, calm in the middle when we're batting, calm when we're at the start of our mark, calm in our meetings, and that actually has come out quite a lot. So this week's going to be a huge week for us for the build-up. You know, like we spoke earlier, if there's going to be nerves, let's get it out of the way now. As long as we do our preparation in whatever it is, our batting, our bowling, our fielding, catching and all that sort of stuff. If we get that out of the way, come into Friday, we can go up to Notts, Trent Bridge and do a practice session, but you know, we can get out of it, we'll never get out of it. You know, drop our kit off, go and have a hit, or we can just have a little wander around and, you know, talk about the day. But I think it'll be, you know, we do our preparation now, and then, you know, what happens at the weekend happens.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to think of all of my other questions. Joe Denley's been the captain for you guys in the tournament so far. What's it, you know, we spoke to him sort of earlier and he mentioned the whole thing of like being a little bit calm and the fact you've had to play basically knockout cricket since the first 3 or 4 games. Like in all formats you haven't done probably as well as you would have hoped. So what's it been like then coming into this tournament and then being able now with a shot to win a trophy at the end of the year after it's been like difficult all year round?
Just on Joey, you know, is an experienced campaigner. He's been around a long time. He's played international cricket, all forms. You know, and in my eyes, I thought it was hard done by when he got let out the Test side a couple of years ago. But
I'd agree. I
just think, but what he does bring to the team, you know, he's quite a quiet lad off the pitch. He has his funny moments, but he's actually quite quiet and he's very calm and experienced. So actually him coming in wanting that, you know, Cookie went to him and said, look, I want you to skip in the tournament, and he snapped his hand off. And I think it's a brilliant thing for, you know, there's a couple of senior lads in the team, but actually we're quite a young team. And to have him and myself sort of, you know, and Robbo to a certain extent, Jack Lean and senior lads, to sort of bring that sort of calmness to the team, I think's been good. But I think the way he's led it on the pitch has been brilliantly. No stress. You know, he's been really calm with the lads. He's asked lots of questions to the players, you know, bowling with fields and all that sort of stuff. And then Cookie, he's just kept it very relaxed, chilled out, like, you know, we've got music on constantly. It's just a really nice atmosphere and not a real nice buzz around it. So Joe's been a bit of a breath of fresh air for us.
And just to turn a bit, you've obviously played county cricket for a long time now. Your thigh pad's probably older than me. But in terms of the 50 over format and this year, you know, sometimes it's been dubbed, the ECB dubbed it a bit of a development competition and second 11 cricket. From what I've seen, it doesn't feel like that. In terms of oppositions, how do you feel the standard has been this year?
Well, if you look at most of the sides, I reckon there'd only be a couple of sides, like Hampshire being one, but they still had, when we played them last week, they still had 4 senior players in the team. But yes, a lot of youngsters. But I think it's been outstanding. I think it's opened the doors for a lot of youngsters coming in, and you know, the one that stands out for me is Priest down at Hampshire. I think he's a jet of a player. Thankfully, we got him out for North. Sorry about that.
It's summed up his tournament. He either got a big score or nothing.
I think he's been outstanding. Actually. I think it just shows that giving him, you still need your senior players as well as your youngsters coming in, you know. But no, I know what you mean when they said last year it was a bit of a second team sort of. But actually, there's still a lot of first team players in it, and still a lot of first team players playing in it. So yeah, I disagree with that.
Yeah, and just to take a turn, you've been dubbed the GOAT of county cricket. I wondered what you thought of that nickname, and it doesn't get annoying. What's your view on that?
Do you know what? I've got no view on it. I suppose the only thing I can think of is you get dubbed that sort of name, but I've been around for a long time, so it's like I'm sure anybody else that plays for 26 years will get that name at the end of that as well. But no, it doesn't faze me. I think keeps people happy. I'm happy.
Move on to some questions where you can dob your teammates in if you want to.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, and just to finish, we're going to do some quick fire teammates questions for you. First up for you, who's a nice easy one for you? Who's the best dressed in the dressing room?
Best dressed. I'm going to have to say Gilchrist. Stylish.
Yeah.
Stylish. Is that? I think he did a degree in design or something like that.
Oh.
fashion and design.
There you go. Didn't know that.
Yeah, just don't tell him.
Who has the worst music taste in the side?
Podmore.
Bono. Any particular reason? Is it
Girl bands.
girl band? There you go. That's an exclusive.
Not saying
no comment.
Not saying that it's wrong. You know what I mean? Podmore.
Who's the messiest player in the dressing room?
It's gonna be probably Cox, or I love him to bits. He's not gonna like this, but maybe DBD, because I find his kit all over my spot all the time.
And we'll do one final one for you. Who's the best at football in the side? And bear in mind, we interviewed Joe Denley earlier, so...
and he's 100% going to say himself. It's got to be Blake. Solid, all-round performer. Joe's just a glory hunter, goal hunter. I know you need goals to win games, but Joe just controls the game. And not Joe, Blake controls the game.
Well, thank you very much for your
Pleasure.
time, Darren.
Cheers.
It's been a pleasure.
Nice.